Next we are going to introduce Rama Ganesan. She is with Vegan Michiana. Please help welcome her.
Can you all hear me? Is that good? Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. This is kind of like my dream. So Nikisha and I, we have come 3 hours north from here, so on the Michigan-Indiana border. Back up a little. So we're Hoosiers. We're Hoosiers. And it's great for us to be in this Animal Rights March. Why am I really excited? Now, this is not a plant-based eating march, right? No. No. This is not a yoga and raw food march, is it?
No.
No. This is not even an environmental march. All due respect to the environment. This is an animal rights march. I want to say what animal rights is not and what it is, and these are things that we have been trying to figure out because we are also trying to grow a community like this. So, you know, sometimes we do things that take us far afield and we lose track of our goals. Now, when I went to South Bend, Michiana, I wanted to have an animal rights community. And what do I mean by that? I meant a group of people who feel the same way that I do. That's pretty much what I mean. Now, there was no group that I could just join. Like if I could come here to Indianapolis, I would just join IARA and do the stuff that you guys do. There was no group that I could just, you know, insert myself into. I used to go to Chicago to do animal rights protests with them. Now, Michiana has lots of dog and cat rescue, which is great. I have a dog and 2 cats who are just like Andy, by the way. But we're interested in total animal liberation, which includes all animals, okay? The 92 million, the 10 billion, the 75 billion, the trillions. Now that's what we're talking about. So the cows, the chickens, the pigs. So when I started, so we do some animal rights advocacy, but you know, when I started, I decided, well, what I need to do is vegan advocacy. So if I can get more vegans in my area, I have a larger pool to choose from, because you know, the theory is when people stop abusing animals for food, they come to see animals in a different way, and we can start talking to them about the rights of animals. So that's what we're doing now. And we do things like free food demos and potlucks and so on, and they're great. I mean, they're very successful, a lot of attendees. But things go a little bit off track. Now, we promote veganism, right? We say vegan for everything. Vegan for everything, right? We say that, and that's great. We're trying to sell veganism. We say it's going to make you healthier, more youthful, more beautiful, all those things, right? Now, we confuse people a little bit. You know, we had a local restaurant offer us the jackfruit tacos at the same time as they were roasting a pig, right? It was a pig roast, but they have vegan options. Now, that's not quite what we mean. We don't want, well, great to have vegan options, but that's not what we want. We want animal liberation. I had somebody else call me and say, veganism is like a religion. Now, when they say something that's not a religion is like a religion, they mean it as an insult. Veganism is not a religion. No, it's an animal liberation movement. Animals are at the center. So I think we get into some trouble. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying these are some of the consequences. I found myself getting into arguments about things that don't really at the center, you know, like oil versus no oil, and organic versus conventional farming, all these kinds of things. I'm not saying they're not relevant, they're not the center of our movement. So I decided not to fight those battles so much, but refocus my veganism on animals. And even though I want to move on to the second part of what I want to say, my attention has become more focused on animals, but at the same time, it's also expanded to encompass all kinds of oppression. Now, it was easy to see right away that I'm part of a system that oppresses and uses animals in horrific ways. But that same system, it also oppresses and uses human beings as well. So I learned all these ways to think about non-human animals and other groups of humans, people, when I was very young, before I could even speak. These things are part of our culture, all of us. And as they say, we have a colonized mind. Now, many of us AR activists, animal rights activists, we are leery of humans. We kind of don't like humans. Can you blame us? You know, we have seen undercover footage of factory farms. It's horrific. And I'll tell you myself, I spent 10 years working in animal labs. 10 years, a decade. This is thousands of rats, mice, gerbils, maybe tens of thousands. Okay? So if you hate humans for how they treat animals, and you'd have to hate me too. So if anybody here thinks they have been cruel to animals or abused animals in their past, I probably have you all beat. So what do you do if you don't have much compassion or empathy for humans? I think you cultivate it. We cultivate it. So my advocacy now sees a larger pattern of privilege and oppression, and while we work for animal liberation, we can't be reinforcing other types of oppression. It makes no sense, does it, to oppress people in a movement for anti-oppression? And unless we try to consciously and deliberately untangle those mental knots of oppression, we cannot hope to achieve animal liberation. So I see that including and raising the voices of marginalized people in our movement for animal rights is very, very important. Animals are marginalized people, and marginalized humans are also marginalized people. So as I learn to become a better animal rights activist, I hope I'm also becoming an active participant in human rights advocacy, and not just a passive one. I want to finish up by quoting a few guidelines from Julia Felice and her collaborators' Consistent Anti-Oppression Principles. This is a brand new website that went up a week or two ago. It's consistentantioppression.com. I encourage all of you to look at it. There's a lot of food for thought there. And I am a signatory on behalf of Vegan Michiana and one other organization. I'm very excited about the whole thing. So I'm going to read you 3 principles. These are 8, 9, and 10. 8. Recognize that anyone's vegan activism is not more important than their participation in oppressive behavior. That is, sexual assault, ableism, racism, transphobia, sizeism, etc. Number 9. Tolerating human oppression means failing non-human liberation, because human and non-human oppressions are intertwined. Therefore, make a commitment to address other isms when you see them. 10. Ensure marginalized vegans have an equal platform within your organization and event beyond tokenism. Avoid cosmetic diversity and support those vegans by giving them a platform and compensating them as you would non-marginalized vegans. End quote. Someone said to me, most people don't care about animals. So if you want people to stop abusing animals, you have to talk about the health benefits of a vegan diet. I disagree with that. If people don't care about animals, there's more reason to talk about animals. Please show people that you care about animals. Make them the center of our movement. Animal liberation and human liberation are linked. What does it even mean to say people don't care about animals? That's like saying they don't care about us. So please talk about animals every chance you get and make them the center of our movement. Thank you.